In this video, we're gonna move this native blueberry. This wouldn't matter if this was Rose's Blush blueberry that's native to the southeast, or a blueberry that's native to the northeast, or any place where you're going to be digging up one of these ericaceous plants. The Ericaceae includes rhododendrons and azaleas and blueberries and leucothoe and all kinds. There's lots and lots of plants in this plant family. They tend to grow in low pH, very low pH soils. A lot of them are peat bog natives. They'll grow, a lot of them are native to places that are slightly moist or mountainous places that get lots of rain, like a lot of rhododendrons. They tend to have fibrous root systems, really fibrous root systems. If you ever flipped a plot over on an azalea, blueberry, whatever it is in this plant family, you'll see this wild fibrous root system there. Whereas if you take this abelia or this clethra or this tree out of a container, you'll see the individual roots, but this is it's almost like a fiber is what it looks like. When you pull one out of a container like that, you do want to slit them from top to bottom because the roots are just really get matted in these types of plants when they go in the ground. What you'll also find is that you'll plant a 3-gallon container or a bigger container of one of these things, and it goes in the ground this deep, but those roots down at the bottom don't survive, ultimately. It actually puts the roots mostly in the top 3 or 4 inches of soil, and which we want to get when we're transplanting one of these types of plants. Blueberries is what this video is about, but again, it would relate to all of those. I want the widest possible root ball I can get. So if I was ever transplanting an azalea on a job site, if I was transplanting this conifer, almost certainly all of the roots are going to be a little bit deeper and a little bit more contained right around the plant. But with this thing, I want to go as wide as I can get, okay? And where I'm feeling roots on it, because I know I'm only going to pull up something that's about this deep. Maybe right where it was planted, you'll get a little bit more depth in the roots right there. But trust me, most of the roots have just run out of this weird fibrous root ball that runs across the top of the soil. It's one of the things that's really necessary to make sure that all the things in that plant family are always mulched well, because they're going to be more cold sensitive, more heat sensitive, because those roots, those weird fibrous roots, are up near the top of the ground. So typically pretty easy to get out of the ground, and I could go up here. These have grown together a bit. That's why I'm moving this one. I'm going to move it just across the driveway over here. I know just from experience that I'm going to need a fairly shallow, wide space to plant it. So I've already kind of pre-dug a hole over there a little bit. I'll adjust it once I start on this. Sometimes before I get it out of the ground, I'll go ahead and kind of get a feel for how big that's going to be and maybe go back over there and make an adjustment. I just want it out of the ground as short a time as possible. I'm doing this in February. Certainly February, March, April would be a good time to do it. It is about to flower, and so this stress of moving it is probably going to cost me some flowers. It's probably going to cost me some fruit this year. It is what it is, but I do want to do this kind of when it's dormant. This one's not as cold tolerant. Most blueberries are like cold tolerant to zone 3 or 4. I mean, super, super cold tolerant. Most of them evolved in peat bogs in the north, but this particular one is a southeastern native, and it's not the most cold hardy thing in the world. So it's gotten a little bit stung actually this winter. But anyway, the next thing I want is some sort of way to move it. So a lot of times when I'm moving plants, I'll just have a tarp so that I can, once I dislodge this plant from the ground, I can slide it onto a tarp, and then I can pull the tarp over to where it goes, or some sort of low wheelbarrow. I'm only going from here to there, and I feel like I'm strong enough that I can pick this thing up. I kind of know that it's going to be a pan of a root ball. I'm just going to slide my shovel under it and ultimately move it, unless it's bigger than what I think, and then I'll go get a wheelbarrow or a tarp or something like that. But I'm just being prepared. One thing I've always talked about when moving plants is to root prune in advance of it. So if I had something that was well established in the ground, I would go through here and cut the roots on it. With these, I'm not going to want to do that because I really want to get as wide of a pan of roots as I can get. Steph just threw that question out into the world, and it's a really good one. That these are just, I'm going to skip the step of root pruning it, and I'm just going to try to get out here as far as I can away from this thing and see how many roots we can actually get. You're always going to find on these, I've always found that there's this giant top on them and there's this little root system. It just doesn't seem to match up always. So again, I just want to try to get as much of that as I can. So I'm gonna stop talking and start digging here. Another thing that could be thrown into the mix here is there was originally a red maple here, and there's still roots out here from it. So when I planted this, I probably found a place between roots and planted it in there. I'm hoping these don't mess with me right this minute. If they do, then I'm gonna end up with an even smaller root ball than I had originally planned, but okay. So I'm cutting out here, seeing if there's any roots. Okay, I can already, right there, I can see it move. That's one of the indications that I always find when I'm on to a root for that plant, or I've hit roots on that plant or cut roots on that plant, is I can make it move by doing that. Again, they had just crowded themselves so much, and we planted them so close together. I don't have many roots going in that direction without harming this. There's a balancing act there. And this soil, of course, I ran into roots from the old maple that was there. And another thing we have is we've improved this soil so much that a lot of soil falls off when we're trying to move things. And we end up with almost bare rooting some things by soil falling off. But again, it's exactly what I said. Look how thin this is, right? You would think that something that's been in the ground 5 or 6 years would have rooted downward. There are no roots going downward. Every root was going out into the surrounding soil. I don't think it'll miss a beat. I could prune it here, maybe a third back if I wanted to. That's not typically the way we prune blueberries. It's suckering down here while it's still sitting here stiff. Let's show this before I move it over there. There are suckers coming on the bottom of it, which is typically how blueberries will grow. They'll get these suckers on them, and the way they'll be pruned in the future is we'll prune off the old, unproductive, oldest leaders. So typically with blueberries, we would prune off the oldest canes. You can kind of tell what's old and what's not on them. That's the way you get production in blueberries. I'm using this as an ornamental plant. We have some blueberries over here that we're using to pick blueberries. This one's just more of an ornamental in the garden. We like the flowers on it for the pollinators. We like the berries on it, or the blueberries on it for the birds. But other than that, but with that thin little root ball like that, I'm just gonna pick it up like this, and I'm going to walk it over to the spot. It definitely allows me to reorient it. I had pre-dug this hole about very shallow. You see how shallow I actually dug this? So it's literally perfect for that plant. Again, I could have come over here and readjusted that while I was doing it. I'm gonna use the opportunity to stand it up a bit taller. It was leaning away from that, nightlight Chamaecyparis, and I'm gonna use this opportunity to correct it just a bit. Don't wanna cover these super shallow roots. So I wanted it pretty much the same depth it was before. If I come in here and put 2-3 inches of dirt on top of those shallow roots, it's gonna have to re-root up into that new soil, and those ones that are down there without air are going to die. We're gonna come back in here and plant 2 more of them, and I actually need to come this way a bit, don't I? For this one to be centered? Okay, all right. So I'm gonna miss the spot just a bit here. So we're gonna slide it over just a hair to center it, because we want to go to a grouping of 3. Good to have a spotter when you're transplanting plants. Not trying to bury anything that wasn't buried. When you take something and move it like this, that has a bit of a concave bottom on it, it's best to take the shovel and kind of pack it underneath a bit, get those air pockets out. I do all my measuring in the field with the shovel. So when I started digging that up over there, when I realized how wide that was gonna be, I could come over here, just measure it with the tool itself, come over here and dig the hole that width. If I saw how deep I needed to go, when I dug it out over there, I could just measure it on here and then come over here and make sure it's at that depth. And then I'll use the back of it to pack air pockets out. I'm not trying to pack the soil down so much that I've kicked all the air out of it. There's a balancing act here. We're not trying to make sure there's no air in the soil. We're trying to make sure that the roots are surrounded by slightly packed soil. Okay, that's what we need. But I'll go around it a couple times like that with the shovel and just make sure that it doesn't have big air pockets underneath. I don't think this one will miss a beat. Normally I do a little bit of pruning when I move things because I've just reduced the roots by quite a bit. And if I come back in here and reduce the top, that'll put it back in balance. Again, not typically the way you prune a blueberry, just shearing it off like that. We'll lightly mulch this in a few weeks. We're mulching the whole garden, so it'll get a light layer of mulch on top of it. I don't use any kind of root fertilizer. Our soil, these have a mycorrhizal relationship with the mycorrhizal's already here in the soil. I've shown it off quite a bit in our wood chip paths and everything else. So we don't really need, I don't need a mycorrhizal fertilizer, and we're gonna fertilize the entire garden in a couple of weeks with an organic fertilizer just over the top of everything. And so I don't ever use any kind of starter fertilizer on anything. Some people do, and if you had luck with it, not knocking it, just saying that for the most part, it's unnecessary. The main thing we're trying to do here is improve this soil, and we've done that quite a bit. This particular spot has been where we've dumped all our mulch and our wood chips and compost and everything that we've done the rest of the garden with. And at the end of every single one of those projects, the little bit of extra was blown into this bed. And so these are highly organic spaces, and they were created that way from a lot of organic material going in there. I'd almost like to correct this lean just a little bit more where it's coming out on here. I just think it'll look awkward. So what I'll ultimately do is just take these two stems off that are coming out here next year, and that'll force some of that new, those new suckers that I actually want to replace these old suckers with anyway. Look up how to prune blueberries on the internet if you're looking at how to actually prune them, because people that actually grow blueberries, they're taking out the oldest canes every so often. What you get is the best fruit production is generally on canes that are between maybe 3 and 5 years old. Okay, before that they don't flower very much. After that they become just old canes that don't produce, that just take energy from the plant. And so by taking out the oldest canes, about a 20%, 30% of the oldest canes every year, you keep it in constant juvenility, or is that the word? Juvenility, is that probably the word? You keep it in a constant juvenile state where it's producing new growth all the time, and keeping it in that juvenile state keeps it suckering and keeps it flowering and keeps it fruiting. It's an important part of how fruit is how we maintain. If you have a 100-year-old apple tree and you've never pruned it, you will see that you will hardly get any apples on it at that point. You have to keep it pruning on it to keep it in some juvenility over time. So there you go. That's how to move these super shallow rooted blueberry plants. That's what you're going to find. It's kind of going to be scary, honestly. The first couple times you do it, you're like, why aren't there any roots? Just try to go out as wide as you could. The plant was blocking me on one side, and the roots from that old tree were blocking me on another a little bit. So I didn't get as wide as I'd like to get. If you can get wider, then I just did that. Have the hole kind of pre-dug, be ready to move it when you're ready to move it. Hello? Water. And then the other thing would be to water it in. And so after I've gently packed this soil around it and packed it in underneath and all that, I can get the water over here and water it, and you might find that it will settle a little further at that point, and then you'll move a little bit more dirt in there. If you see soil just kind of disappearing underneath the plant just a bit, that'll be some little pocket you missed that the water might help find. And then you can do that again. And again, we're going to fertilize this in the next few weeks just because we fertilize the entire garden in spring. And we're going to lightly mulch it with some hardwood mulch to keep those roots. This is a full sun spot during the summertime. Absolutely cooks from the time the sun comes up until the time the sun goes down in the peak summer. This is in the sun. And I don't want those shallow roots that I just showed you getting cooked by the sun and getting frozen by the cold. So there you go. Thank you guys for watching.